Hi, Peter.
Hey,
Welcome to my living room.
this is awesome.
We're here to talk about just what is going on in this crazy life of ours right now. I was running a little late. I was filming another interview with a gentleman by the name of Nick Tango.
Okay.
Actually had it. And he talked about how it was impossible for him to get a test. He was
Oh no.
walking around with it for like a week and a half. One hospital refused to test him. You don't need it. The other one lost his test. Then he had to go back and get retested. So it was just a long, horrible story, which I'm happy ended on a good note because he's completely fine now. But it just shows, like, never mind the physical part of this illness, just the level of incompetency on so many
Totally.
levels that it's showcasing. It's just really crazy. And I know it sucks for you because your business has taken such a big hit right now.
Sure.
Mine has taken such a big hit right now, but we really need to do our part to just stay away from everyone for now so we can get back to business as soon as
Yeah,
possible.
and it's funny. It's also kind of a reminder, like while we've been complaining about being stuck at home and what are we going to do, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, last night we were together chatting and well,
Yeah.
virtually,
Yeah. Totally.
and just talking about we're social butterflies and our wings have been clipped and all that kind of stuff. But could you imagine having the virus, which I don't think has even really triggered in me because I don't have it. I currently don't have it. But that's such a whole other level or layer of things. So it really is about staying in and not going out, because that's the one thing we don't want to get, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I mean, there's obviously different strands. I'm still not able to taste or smell, as I was complaining
It's
about
nerve-wracking.
yesterday.
Yeah.
And, the Nick who I was talking to, I mean, he had a 103 fever for days and, bad migraines and throwing up. And, and then some people are worse than even he is, being in the hospital. There's
Yeah.
a photographer that I would see at Giants games, and his Anthony Causey, and he's on a ventilator right now.
Wow.
Father of two young girls,
Mhm.
and he's fighting for his life, and it's just very, very scary that it can get to that level.
Yeah, one of the editors that works for me on some things, he contracted it as well. I don't know that he was ever diagnosed with it but he definitely had it. You know what I mean? I don't know if he got the test and all that stuff. And so he dealt with that for 2 to 3 weeks. So that sort of also, for any edits that we had out for weddings or the corporate stuff, it's also sort of threw us for a little bit of a loop as well. Not to mention also all the postponements of weddings and events that occurred over over the last, well, the next coming month of April and whatnot, March and April. I mean, it's been, that part of it has been absolutely crazy for my business.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
same with us. I mean, the spring and the fall, those are our two busiest times, which I'm sure for you too, being
yeah,
in weddings, right? And spring is completely off the calendar. I'm
yeah,
completely wiped clean until June, and who knows if even that's going to happen now. Fine. But the things are being rebooked for the fall.
yeah,
Well, there's only so many days because I already have dates for the fall. So there's only
exactly.
so many days
Yeah.
you could rebook things. So I'm just wondering if people are going to just wind up canceling outright, see you in 2021, because I don't do weddings. So my
I have had a bunch of those. I've had a bunch that said, "Hey, we're just not going to do it this year at all," because
wow.
the idea of what you said, like they don't want to, say push to June and then June has to be rescheduled or something along those lines. Or if this virus comes back in the fall, maybe it is almost better if some of them push to 2021. But one of my best friends is getting married May 16th. As of this moment, I keep calling him every day and say, "Is that happening?" You know what I mean? But he thinks it's happening, and I guess this current ban is what, till the 30th. So
Till April 30th. I mean, we're both sports fans too.
totally,
So it impacts obviously the sports world too. I mean, the Olympics, I mean, that's been canceled till next year.
yep.
I don't think basketball and hockey, they're not even going to come back and play a playoffs or a championship. I think they're just done. Baseball, I mean, I guess the earliest case scenario is mid-May.
I know. I mean, and it's a shortened season, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I mean,
Short
there's
season.
that.
But like is the World Series going to be played on Christmas?
It definitely feels that way.
And is
I
the
mean,
Super Bowl going to be played like on St. Patrick's Day?
I
It's
know.
so crazy. Football, they're not going to have a shortened season, but I
They'll
don't,
pick right back up, you know, they should be okay. But
yeah,
baseball is going to be very weird this year. You know what I mean? Because
very,
right now we would have already been doing our opening day. I know different teams and that's
yeah.
okay, you know, but we would have been doing our thing and watching our games. And wow, is that, you forget how important something like baseball is in your daily life, isn't it?
I know. I miss John. Well, you don't miss John and Susan on the fan, but I sure do. But football will play a full season, but I don't think they're going to kick off. They'll kick off like Halloween,
Yeah.
which is even crazier to think about.
It's just kind of crazy that we're all, you know, like we were talking yesterday about just being creatures of like habit and being out, and so much of us is like, let's take a meeting or let's do a this and let's do a that, you know, we go do a lunch or a dinner or whatever, and then we have the shoot and then we have the thing, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
all of that is now like at a halt, and that's really challenging. You know, it's not challenging to stay home and watch Netflix, but it is, you know, it's easy to do that like on a snow day because tomorrow you can go back out.
Yeah.
But this is not this has not been that great at all.
Well, I'm actually a little surprised to hear you say that though,
Hmm.
because here's why.
Okay.
I'm coming at this whole quarantine from a place where I could finally do the projects and the things that have been sitting on my to-do list collecting dust.
Right.
And that feels really good to be able to be creative and free to do so without
Sure.
constraints of, oh, but I have to run to this meeting and oh, I have a shoot and I have to approve this. I don't have any of that now.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised you're not feeling the
Well,
same.
no, I definitely, and there's some aspects of like, okay, there's a couple projects that I was writing and I would put on hold, but now that I can totally focus on them, you know, it's funny, like, I had just shot out maybe three docu-series things that are in pitch mode right now. So I had just finished a lot of like really intricate work on three different projects. And so I'm in this like waiting game thing, you know, of like networks and all this kind of stuff. So I was, you know, this delay sort of held off all of those things now because now nobody is working, nobody's looking at anything. And you know, I mean, that could change. So from that aspect, I feel like like, because I like to move and I like to get things going and I like that the action sort of, you know,
Yeah.
it helps me to come up with new ideas and stuff. But so I have, like you said, I definitely have focused on writing. I've definitely been doing this little podcast thing and whatnot, which has been a lot of fun and kind of opened up a whole new sort of channel for me, you know, bringing out some friends and whatnot at night. But I do sort of miss the action. I'm sure you do a little bit too,
Oh
don't you?
yeah, no. I mean, my
Yeah.
body hurts just from sitting. I mean, not you could stretch, you could take walks, but I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like I'm rusted. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I just need to go out there. I
And
don't know.
it's also funny too, because like the only places that we really can go are like, you know, drive-throughs and like groceries and liquor stores.
And I don't want to go to anything. I haven't
I
been
was just going to say
anywhere.
that literally. And I don't want to go to any of those places because I feel like ShopRite is an infection zone.
Yes. Thank God for Amazon home delivery. They've been great. It was hard to get a slot last week and I finally got one on Saturday and I felt like I hit the lottery. 'Cause I'm like,
I'm going to tell you, we've been trying we do the Amazon home
yeah,
delivery and we haven't been able to get a slot.
no.
And it's so wild too, because like prior to the virus, you could get a slot every 2 hours.
Oh, totally.
You know, but now it's like, I mean, they didn't even go back to like the next day. It's like blank, nothing, you know,
I
but I
know.
don't want to go to ShopRite.
No, I don't want to go. I don't want to, I don't want anybody touching my food. I
No.
mean, I would love to go to a restaurant and get takeout and support. I'm doing my other ways in supporting those people and you are
Sure.
too, but
Yeah.
just, I just need I just
Now,
need,
how about, have you been cooking in a lot more than you normally would?
of course, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm doing all of the cooking. All of the cooking. I am
I love it.
channeling my Italian grandmothers.
There you go. Well, maybe, and look, maybe this gives everybody a pause to sort of, you know, get back to those roots of doing those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe we
yeah.
go out too much. Who knows? You know?
We do. And my grandparents, they yell at me all the time for that because
Yeah.
I mean, this is nothing to them. They're home cooking every single day. And they're like, what's the big deal? You know, they can't go food shopping, especially them because they're
Yeah.
older. But you know, they laugh. My grandmother, she's like, put pictures on the computer of what you've been cooking because I want to see. And my husband has to like give her like progress reports on how I've been doing. And I think so.
What's the grade been so far? Are you doing okay?
What's the what?
What's the grade? Are
Oh,
you
no, I'm actually a really good cook. I'm
there
like
you go.
in the kitchen. Like I'm not pretty doing it, you know.
Right. Yeah. You
You
don't
know,
have
I'll
to be.
drop the
It's not,
eggs
food
on
is
the
not
floor.
pretty.
No. I'm definitely
Yeah.
not like clean. I'm not pretty. Like if this
No.
was a
Right.
coloring book, I'd be outside the line. But it gets done.
Yeah.
And it tastes really good. And you know, well, Joe tells me it tastes good. Like I said, I haven't been able to taste anything. So
Well, that's weird. So are you worried about having this virus because of the taste thing? Or did you put in your head that I can't taste anything as a thing, and now I have this virus? Where do you think?
I'm looking at it as if it's annoying. So that's
Yeah.
number one. It's the most annoying thing. But if I do have it, I guess it's good that I got the most benign strain you could get.
Yeah.
And now I've built up immunity to it if I indeed have it. I mean, again, I have no fever. I'm not going to leave the house to go get a test. I'm
Right.
just going to chill and then just wait for the senses to come back and then live my life.
See what happens. Yeah. That's all you can do, really. But so have you been anywhere?
No, this is 2 weeks. 2 weeks today, I have been in the house. I've
And
gone
well,
out for walks. That's about it.
my favorite thing about you, which I miss now, is your crazy driving
Oh,
tales.
yes.
Like you always seem to have some sort of crazy debacle in getting home
Well,
from
the most
Fairfield.
legendary was the
Yeah.
November snowstorm that people still talk to me about because I documented every painful
Oh,
step
is
of
it,
the way.
how many hours did it take you to get from two cities? And it was Fairfield maybe to like,
No, it was what happened was I was getting honored by Immaculate Conception High School in Lodi. Love them.
congrats.
They're very nice people.
Yeah.
And they were honoring me at Florentine Gardens. And
Okay. I love that venue, by the way. That's one of my
Florentine
favorite
Gardens
venues
is
in New Jersey. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. So before leaving my house in Jersey City, I called them, like, is this thing on? Because I saw the snow piling up and I was hearing the traffic reports. And they're like, no, we're on. We're only getting like an inch or so. I'm like, okay. So I went. As I was by Giant Stadium, excuse me, MetLife Stadium.
Yeah.
Now,
That's okay. I still call it
yeah,
that.
I know. By MetLife Stadium, I got the call that it was canceled. I'm like, great. So I went and I turned around, and that's what took me 8 hours to turn back
Eight
around.
hours. It was 8 hours or
It was
something like
8 hours
a full
because
day of work to get from one
Waze,
location to the other. Yeah.
yeah, because Waze didn't want me to go back on the turnpike. Waze wanted me to take all back roads through like, 21 and North Arlington. And
Right.
that was where I shouldn't have listened to Waze. I should have just turned back around and just sat
Man,
on
I
the
was so
turnpike.
entertained by that. I think you were doing that on Twitter, or
Twitter,
Instagram.
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 I
Yeah.
was just sitting there, kind of like
Yeah.
how I'm doing now, just sitting here.
Yeah.
But, I would make a turn, sit at a red light for an hour, and then make another turn, sit at that red light for an hour. I
I
mean,
really think that's a docu-series in itself.
yeah. I mean, that I lost my mind. I mean, that was,
Yeah.
I had a bout of where I just like would scream in the car or cry. Like I don't have that here. That
No.
was torturous. No,
Have you lost your mind at all being inside?
I've gotten like moody about it.
Same. Yeah, that's what I mean.
I've gotten moody. I've gotten bitchy, and
Yeah.
again, with the no taste thing, like, because food is the one fun thing that I can
You can
do.
do.
And
Yeah.
that's been taken away from
No,
me.
that's horrible. I couldn't
So,
imagine that.
I've been bitchy about that. But no, I mean, I'm doing this. I have video calls, I'm keeping in constant contact with family and friends, social media.
Yeah.
So I haven't lost my mind, but you know, I like my husband, I'm
Yeah,
in a weird
totally.
situation. I feel for the people that are in terrible situations where they don't
Sure.
like the people that they're living with, or they have a
Right.
moody teenager that they're dealing with and annoying kids. And, we don't have that.
No.
So it's been nice.
Yeah. But it is, I mean, like, I think I think what maybe was annoying, and I'm not usually a negative person at all, but I think what's annoying is you can set the expectation of 2 weeks, right? And be like, okay, so for the next 2 weeks, this is how we got to roll, and everybody can kind of settle into that. And then you get told another 4. But I mean, we all kind of knew that it was going to be a
Yeah,
little bit longer.
yeah.
But still,
Especially this area.
when you hear though April 30th, it sounds so long from now,
I know.
considering that right now it's still March 30th. You know what I mean? Like that sounds like an outrageous amount of time. And so that information definitely I struggled with yesterday.
Well, you know what? It's for me, it's changed the perspective on the whole quarantine because yes, I've been stuck inside for 2 weeks, but I'm still putting all this pressure on myself to get things done and
That's
to
good. Yeah.
it's
I
good, but
think. I
it's also
think.
bad because like it's all imaginary because there is
Right?
no pressure. So
Right.
now that it's been extended to the 30th, I could like kind of relax a little. I haven't been relaxing much during this quarantine.
Me
And
neither.
now, not that I want to like turn into a lazy couch potato,
No.
but I don't have to like put all this pressure on, oh, I better get this done because when they reopen, the whole world is going to go crazy. Now I'm
Yes.
realizing like, even if they do reopen April 30th, it's going to be such a gradual process back in
Yeah.
that I
The thing
I
about it
don't
was,
know.
I think what we really did was just put everything on pause.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I think everything that we were working on will pop back up and start moving forward. But it just, and maybe you'll have a couple of new things now based on this time of, sort of being creative and talking to other people that can open the doors for another new project.
exactly. Well, I mean, talk about a weird time to launch a new project. Hip New Jersey is going to be on News 12 Plus starting this weekend.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was the dream imagined, right? Finally, News 12 is taking our outside production and airing it on their channel. And, you know, like,
But wait, is that
have
still happening or did that
yeah,
get,
we have 10 shows in the can, so
oh,
that's
great.
still happening, yeah,
Yeah.
but, we were in talks with sponsors and commercials, and now we've revamped the whole commercial plan, and we put a call out to businesses,
Mhm.
record a cell phone video, share your message of hope and positivity and what you're doing in in this whole situation in a 30-second cell phone video, and we'll air it as part of the show. So is it creating a new revenue stream? Is it creating maybe a different way that we approach commercials moving forward? Who knows? But
Yeah, I think there's going to be a big shift too in terms of like entertainment. Like there's such an opportunity here, particularly like for chefs and for people like us who
yeah,
are hosty and whatnot. Like there's an opportunity to kind of like do something new that you wouldn't have done. Like I would never have taken this time to. I mean, right now I said like we're chatting, right? We don't normally video chat with each other, right? I'll
no,
text you
I
and
know
stuff.
I hate video chat. I'm
Same.
like, do I look? I mean, you know what? Like, yeah, I look like crap. I'm on my living room
Right.
couch, no makeup, and you know what? It's glorious. I
That's
don't have
how I
to
feel.
worry about the lighting and what to wear and makeup, and I'm
Yeah.
this is like I'm doing what I love, which is talking to people, and we're doing it in its most basic form,
Yeah.
and there's beauty in that.
There is something really beautiful in it. And I do think some silver linings are to pick up something new too, right? Like, so
Yeah,
maybe like I started doing some meditation stuff. I never did that. I always said I want to do that. But I was like, well, I have just all the time in the world to, you know what I mean? Now to do that. And that's been very helpful for me. Take up a new hobby, write something, you wrote an amazing book. Maybe it's time for the follow up. You know what I mean? I don't
maybe.
mean to give you, I don't mean to give you what you should be doing,
No, no, no.
but you know what I mean? Like you spend a lot of time and you wish you probably had more time to write a book or to do a thing, right? So, and same here. So like I'm developing new things. I'm talking to people about when things open up. I was doing what you were doing, moving at a rate of speed, like opening up was going to happen next week. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
now I've kind of brought it back down here. But it's definitely giving me the perspective of just like and just being grateful again for just breathing, living, and being able to interact with people.
I know. I know. I mean, yesterday the slate of guests that you scheduled were really amazing. I mean, never even knew who Gennaro was.
Really? I think
I
you
never
guys would
knew
have known.
Gennaro.
Yeah, yeah,
And now I'm friends with him on Facebook, and Mike Carino. I
yeah.
read the article about what Ani Rahman was doing and his involvement. And then hours later, he was on my computer screen. Oh, what's up?
Oh, that's so weird. Yeah,
Yeah. And then Tony Manja,
of
obviously, I
course.
know. So,
Yeah.
I never would have talked to those people.
Right. And I think that that's one of the things that like wanted to try to do with that little live at night thing was to try to mix people's worlds together and reintroduce them to new people and new formats and new things for moving forward as they get out of, once this virus is gone and whatnot. So
Yeah.
it's been it's been a weird trip, but it's, we're all on it together, right? I mean, so it's not like we can't understand what somebody else is going through because
Yeah.
we're all going through it at the same exact time. Some people worse than others. Obviously, the people that have this virus, which you may have, you know,
I do. It's a very benign case.
no matter the way we joked about it, though,
I know.
she really had it. What? Um, uh, like it's been a great opportunity for, just to interact that way. And like, I feel like even though they told us to be social distancing, I feel like some of us are just social beasts and need to be social. Like, so us doing this is a part of us being socially close by being distant in
Of
a way.
course. Well, the good thing is that, we're content creators, right?
Yeah.
So everything that I have going on with Hip New Jersey, you mentioned 10 years later, you had the Price of Fame.
Yeah.
So now this is a great opportunity for you to reignite the marketing of that so people can download and watch.
Sure.
Are
Yeah.
you finding that?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. We did really well off of the Amazon Prime, Amazon Direct Prime, whatever that is, Amazon Prime. The
Yeah.
service there. The movie's there. That's where it is currently. So if someone wants to check out that movie about Ted DiBiase and his story, that is on Amazon Prime right now. So we have found that people that missed it when I promoted it a couple of years ago, are tagging me in Instagram posts now. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, okay, welcome to the party. Where were you 2 years ago? Thanks, but it's nice to see that they're all diving into it now. So yeah, I think it's going to do really great things for anybody who has something that like it's just been sitting around. It's good that people can rediscover it maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And then her name is Chef.
Yeah, so that's a great docuseries that we worked on. That's something that's sort of in a holding period place right now because of this whole virus, and there's been so many delays with it. It's so frustrating. But anyway, the idea is that it just kind of explores 6 amazing female chefs and their stories and journey and how they kind of look at the restaurant industry or the food industry or their what their minds look like. And one of them is someone who passed on, Fatima Ali, who was on Top Chef and whatnot. And so she was such a sweet and wonderful person. I was so glad that I got the opportunity to know her. And she's one of the featured chefs, and Elizabeth Faulkner and Hillary Sterling and a whole bunch of others are their sort of journeys, because I feel like we're in a place of I've always kind of been a promoter of like female driven content, right? But now we're in a place where that really needs to be to sort of drive the industry in a way. And so I think seeing the restaurant world from a person or from a female's perspective that's sort of maybe been diminished through the years, I think is it's exciting and a long time coming. So
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
yeah.
What's the plan? Like, are you looking to pitch it out in a similar way or to roll it out in a similar way like you did with Price of Fame, like renting the movie
I
theater?
don't think it will be a theater thing. I think it will be direct on one of the platforms, but because of the virus, I won't know what platform that is for a little bit of time,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But or maybe because like there's a couple ways of looking at it, or maybe I will because the show is shot and done, like you said, in terms of your show. You have episodes in the can. We have episodes in the can. So for platforms that are sort of like looking for content that's already available, it's there. You know what I mean? So they don't have to have anybody
You
shoot
start?
it again. What's
You
that?
Up to News 12. I mean, I know you want national though. You don't
Yeah,
want.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely those sort of options as well, but like we're still in that exploratory phase. So, but we were getting to a good place. So, but just have a little bit of a timeout again. But that's okay too. You know what I mean? I always feel like things that are timing is everything, and sometimes it's out of our control. You know what the timing of anything is going to be. So you just gotta, and I think this period of time sort of opens us back up to that we are really not in control of timing, because we could plan
Control nothing.
anything for weeks and months ahead, but clearly that can change in a heartbeat. I feel bad for all these wedding clients that I have that, and like they have the whole day planned, right? They've got the vendors, the cake, what's going to happen from start to finish. They're about a month away, and now they have to shift the entire day to maybe another year, not
Yeah.
even just a few months. Like that's scary, no?
That's so crazy. I mean, I spoke to another woman today. She told me about her daughter was due to be married in March. And then when Governor Murphy said no more weddings, they ended up having a little backyard thing, or
Nice.
they
Oh,
were
so she
planning a
did.
backyard thing. They couldn't even do that. So they just like had the rabbi come over right before that deadline where you couldn't have a wedding anymore. And they just did it. They threw something together and they did it. But, you know, that's what
Yeah,
it's all about though, too.
it's
It is
interesting.
about the
Like that's an
spectacle.
interesting perspective of like, is it about the wedding or is it about the marriage, right? So
Exactly.
so
Listen, I had the big blowout wedding and the marriage
I'm
was
aware.
horrible,
Yeah,
horrible. Another story for another day. And
yeah,
then I had the, 12-person wedding,
which
and
must have been incredible.
which was incredible on a, on an island, and the marriage is beautiful.
It
And
was in Mexico, yeah,
Anguilla.
yeah. Oh my
Anguilla.
God, I love
So
it there.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
So, on the one hand, it was sad that I didn't have like my extended family there, all my friends and everything else. But, they saw pictures, they saw videos, they, you know, it,
Down to basics,
and you know what? The marriage was beautiful. I didn't bother anybody with it. And I moved on, and that was it, it
And
was
like
a beautiful
clearly you're getting along. You guys are
day.
quarantined together and haven't killed each other yet. So
No,
you know
no. How about you and
that's
your wife? What are
yeah,
you?
we're doing great. Absolutely. I mean, we're actually planning a move to Los Angeles. I don't know if I told you that.
What?
Yeah, yeah. But I'll be back for all my events and all the things that I'm working on. So but she got a great job out there. So that's been a little bit of a twist as well, that in the middle of this we had to sort of like do a cross country move for her to start in April, and that date keeps getting pushed back. So we're just rolling with that as well. Yeah.
Well, we're moving out of Jersey City.
Oh, that's a big step. Not
That
to
is,
Los Angeles.
no, not to Los Angeles. To
It's a long story as to why LA became a thing that I won't bore
Yeah,
anybody with.
no,
Yeah,
that's
but
awesome though.
privately I'll tell you.
That's,
Yeah, yeah.
and who knows what that's going to open up for you too.
That's the thing. It could be an
Yeah,
amazing opportunity. Yeah.
that's an amazing opportunity. No,
Yeah.
I am pulling the ultimate full circle move, and I'm moving back to my hometown,
What's your hometown?
East Hanover, Morris
Okay.
County. Yeah,
Yeah.
we bought a house last year. We've been renovating it, and the renovation is slowly but surely coming down to a close. So this is actually a perfect time to move.
Yeah.
Because I won't have my phone ringing off the hook, or I won't have deadlines or shoots that I have to be at.
It,
So
it is. I mean, like the idea, like if we're just a little bit, because I don't know if the CDC said not to move, not to do
yeah,
anything domestically. So that's been the only recent concern, because we're from the hotbed area of New Jersey or whatever, and then going to California, which is like the third hotbed area. So that's been a little bit stressful there, and I don't want to get the virus. But the time, having all the time to sort of like,
the pack at least.
yes, and get your life situated has been really ideal. Like I don't have to like stress about getting the stuff where I need to get it and whatnot. So yeah.
Well, I can talk to you all day, but
Same.
I have
Yeah.
another because the neck, the COVID
Yeah.
patient. that went over. Now we're
Yeah,
going
of
over. And
course.
now it's like it's in my next. But let's do this again though, because we have all the
Absolutely.
time in the world now. So
Well, we're cousins now.
we're
People are going to be
cousins.
people are going to be confused how that they became now, but we're
Oh,
cousins now.
well, the
So
Alianos, they're a different podcast. I don't know.
yeah.
They're a different breed of people. They're a different podcast.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I saw the Chicken
considered.
Man. Unfortunately, our aunt passed away
Oh no.
back in January. So the Chicken Man, he was there with his pink beard, and
So intense and interesting. Yeah. He's a
yeah,
good dude though. He's got such a good heart, doesn't he?
no, Pete, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. No,
Yeah.
all the Aliano cousins do. They're just
They just move at a different rate of speed,
yeah.
right? I wonder what he's dealing with in this coronavirus.
I should call him. You know what? That's the next podcast.
Yeah.
Us.
What is he doing in the coronavirus? My guess is that he's still
Don't
cooking.
get away. He has so much.
Definitely.
He has so much cigarette smoke and weed smoke emanating from his pores that no virus could penetrate.
No, exactly. Yeah. He'll never get the coronavirus.
He's never
ever.
gonna get it. No,
Right.
it'll like go up to him, be like, and like turn away. He's scared.
Beautiful. Thanks for having me here. I really
No,
appreciate it.
of course. Anytime and anything you need to, let me know.
Same back to you. Yep.
All
All
right, I'll
right.
talk to you.
All right. Sounds
Bye.
good. Bye.